Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning, July 27th. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. You know the drill. You know the drill. Drink it if you got it. That's good. One of life's constants, coffee is good in the morning. How's everybody this morning? It's a beautiful morning down here in Melbourne. Bright sunshine. Good to see everybody piling in. Haven't seen you in a while. Did make an appearance yesterday on Rick's live stream. It's a marathon. I don't know how else to put it, but it's a marathon. And wow, thank you. Jerry Voitish bought me a coffee this morning. Says, have a great Sunday. Sadly, I can't make it to Melbourne Friday. Enjoy the celebration. Thank you, Jerry. Well, we'd love to see you, but I understand, and it's not really an official meetup with very little news. What he's talking about is Friday. I'm celebrating my third Carniversary, and I want to have lunch at the Brazilian Steakhouse with Michael Seeley's Senior and Junior, and Mike's wife, Isa. And then I'm planning a live stream for that Friday night, next Friday. Well, it's this coming Friday now. Friday night at 7 p.m. to celebrate. And the crowd cheers wildly in the background. So, hope all the drama from Friday is over and past, but I do have some things I want to talk about today. It's been 2 days of real reflection for me, as you can imagine. So many of you don't even know what happened Friday. I don't want to rehash that in particular, but it caused me to take a good, hard, long look at the direction and what I'm doing with this channel of mine. And there's a ton of things that I love about it, and there are some things about it that I just don't like the direction that it's going in. Been contemplating a lot of changes. I haven't settled on many of them yet, but I'll do anything I can to keep myself from just getting so fed up. And only those of you who have ever tried to launch a YouTube channel, and I know there's so many of you that are doing it now, can understand even a tiny little bit what I'm talking about. I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years now, not in the carnivore space, but I've been involved in this YouTube stuff it has gotten even to the point where I've gotten death threats from people that I go out of my way not to offend. And you know me, I don't argue with people. I don't call people names by name. I may throw them into a group called morons, but I don't mention their names. I don't ever demonize anybody. I don't ever want to start a fight with it. And yet, this world is full of so many sick people. And so many YouTubers have to stay in hiding because their lives have been threatened. You wonder, why the hell do I do that? Basically for no money. And I use the term no money because I also went and took a look at how much I actually earned and basically how much I've spent on equipment and cameras and computers and even that new cell phone that I bought. That's what started this whole thing on Friday. That I bought as a tool for this YouTube channel. I've got cell phones. I've got plenty of cell phones. I don't ever even talk on anybody to the phone, but I use that thing every day, all day, to answer comments. You have no idea how much work it is to try to be responsive to your viewers. And I got a comment that just cut me to the core. Cut me to the core. At that moment, I had a flashback of all the dissatisfaction that I've had on YouTube. I couldn't continue on Friday. That could have very well been a joke. But it hit me. It was cruel and unkind, and I don't deserve it. And when I walked out of the studio on Friday, I was done. I just was done. But I don't make any decisions that are as important as abandoning something that's taken me all these years to build. I don't make those decisions in a moment of emotional frenzy. And I've been thinking about it all weekend, and I love this, and I love you guys. And just because one bad joke may have triggered something in me, I can't give that up. I enjoy doing this. I love being here with you. But we have to make some changes. And let me welcome some people. I'm going to do that quickly. I probably this morning will throw a link out there to the panel. I can't have these morning live streams of mine running an hour and a half, 2 hours anymore. It's just too much, especially if I'm going to do it 6 days a week. Nobody else does it except people trying to start a channel and build an audience. And they'll be on live every day, all the time, trying to build hours, trying to get viewers. They'll go on everybody else's live stream. I know. I did it. I did it when I first started my drone channel. In one of my early videos, I introduced myself and said, please subscribe to my channel. I've got 10 subscribers now. I mean, that's for real, because that's what you have to do. And then you go on everybody else's channel, you go in the chats, and you introduce yourself, and just short of asking people to sub for you, because that's become passé, this sub for sub stuff. That's what you have to do on YouTube for no money. You have to devote a year, 2 years of your time just to get to the point where you can get monetized. Now, some people do this for the love of it because they are financially set, got a career and a job, and this is a hobby and part-time. But for a guy like me, this is how I attempt to make my living. If I didn't enjoy it so much, I'd smack myself in the face and say, what the hell's wrong with you? Snap out of it, Mitch. You're a talented guy. You know everything. You could make your living in 10 different fields and make 20 times the amount of money per hour that you're making now, or 30 or 50 times. I do that. I do that on the side. I could live on that. I don't need this, but this has to produce something tangible for me. It doesn't mean I don't care about it. It doesn't mean I spend what money I get foolishly, which is what the comment from Friday says. So let's get that. I want to get that out of the way. the biggest change that I'm going to make in the morning coffee with Mitch, which I think is smart anyway, because we just tend to get silly in here. This is like a morning coffee collection of neighborhood people who just are always spending time with each other in every chat room on the planet, every coffee shop. And you run out of meaningful stuff to talk about, and we all get silly, and I'm guilty of it too. And, I can be as silly as the rest of them. See, I love it. I like being funny, but sometimes we take our eye off why we're here. And I think it's important that we never, or at least that I never, lose sight of what I'm trying to do here. Why I go through the work and effort to be here on time every morning, no exceptions. And that is for us to get together for mutual support and help. And I do what I can to inject a little bit of life experience and maybe some knowledge about why carnivore works into the conversation, but this has got to be about carnivore. It's got to be about health. We can talk occasionally about anything you want to talk about, but this business of having the chat in this thing fill up with 100 or 200 entries in a day, asking Gary at No Slow, "Oh, come on, Gary, tell us what your new diet is already." And that has continued through live stream to live stream to live stream. Okay, DS111 says, "It was a joke, old boss." Thank you. Thank you. I'll drink to that. Thank you. And I'm sorry I reacted to it like that, but it was the kind of thing I've been getting all my life, and it just brought it all back. That's the problem. You got to be careful. I can take a joke with the rest of them. Some jokes just trigger memories and thoughts of things. I'm glad to hear that. And thank you, my friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So we're here. We're here, 106 of us. Morning coffees are going to be an hour long. Kiltz's live streams are an hour long. Rick's live streams are a week long. It's a whole different animal. I'm going to do this every day. Maybe we'll go over 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe I won't get to all the questions. Maybe I won't get to the entire chat. I have to do that. Who else does that? Do you think Ken Berry, when he does his live streams, reads every entry in the chat or tries to answer every question? No. At 59 minutes in, Nish is tugging at his pants legs saying, "That's enough. We're done. We got things to do. Let's go. Let's go." And he is out of there. Sometimes Kiltz goes 5 or 10 minutes longer if he's got a particularly fascinating guest. But I don't have that. So we're gonna do it. And I have to stick to that because I have things to do. I don't make money on these live streams. I make money on YouTube by getting views. 1,000 views is about the best I'll do on a live stream. In total, there's no money there. No money. Unless I get some kind of fan funding is what YouTube calls it. Super chats, you buy me a coffee. I even got and I don't want to embarrass her, but I got a $25 PayPal from one of my great viewers in the United Kingdom, and I was so thankful for that, so thankful. And she emailed me, and I replied to the email as well. And somebody who's usually always with us in the morning, and I thought she probably felt my pain, and she did that. Okay, DS111 replied to Ellen and explained either himself or herself. I have no idea who DS111 is. Honest to God, DS111 has been with me. He's always been a great supporter. I always thought it's a guy. I have no idea who he is. I don't know his first name. Don't know anything about him or her. But I got an email. Let me read it to you. From somebody. Got an email from somebody. I'm not going to mention names because I don't do that. And it came in on Friday, last Friday. And I thought maybe this is DS111. Because I don't know who this is. I don't know what, and it's a her, what her YouTube handle might be. And it said, Dear Mitch, I sincerely apologize to you for my inappropriate language at the end of your live stream today. Please forgive me. You are an amazing man and you're loved by many. Okay. I said, I don't recall seeing any inappropriate language other than that one comment that torqued me off so bad. But I didn't want this, I'm talking about it today, but I didn't want this thing to become because things have a way of elevating themselves to become drama on YouTube, and they bounce around from live stream to live stream. Everybody's talking about things, and the asshole said that email was not from me, it was from the other asshole, apparently. Oh, man. Oh, man. Thank you for that. So we cleared that up. I feel better. I'm not going to launch an investigation and find out. It was a silly mistake that I took the wrong way. And like most people say to me, Mitch, you need to toughen up. You need to stop being so sensitive. You may as well ask me to stop being Mitch and just become some hard-ass, miserable MF that nobody would ever like. And that's not who I am. So I am easily hurt. I'm too old to start for my skin is getting thinner in old age, not thicker anyway. So, and you all know, have heard my life story, and you know that I've not got the rosy end of the stick and everything. I've had an awful lot of disasters that pretty much weren't my fault. But somehow people would always blame me for them, especially my ex-wife. I'll do this question real quick because it's really not for me. It's from MM, and it just came across, and I don't think I'm going to get that many questions today. I got a reddish-brown sediment in my electrolyte mix in the water. Does anybody know what that could be? I have no idea. Reddish-brown, maybe there's some iron in your water, rust, minerals, something that reacted with the sodium, potassium, or magnesium, because they're highly reactive chemicals, and it created a brown sediment. Does it happen to you every time? Does it happen to you if you were to use some bottled water instead that you bought from somewhere else that didn't come out of your tap? Maybe you've got lead pipes. Could be anything. Nobody could tell you whether it's harmful or not unless you had it analyzed. I'd be careful, though. I don't know if I'd want to drink the brown water. I'm always careful about drinking yellow water for fear of what it might be. So I'll answer that question. Let me see what else I got in my show notes. Thank you, DS111, my friend. I love you. I always have loved you. I was shocked when that came over, and I didn't even have time when I first read it to think it through or even consider the fact that it might have been a joke. I just saw that, and it cut me through to the core, and I couldn't go on. And I abruptly ended the thing, and then I immediately deleted it so that everybody else couldn't jump on into the replay and try to analyze it. Now, when you think about it, that would have been lucrative for me. Well, lucrative would have maybe another $5 maybe in advertising revenue. All the people trying to figure out what the hell happened to Mitch, but that's not important. I just got rid of it. It's the second time in my career here that I've deleted a live stream because I just did not want to dragged up and analyzed to the nth degree. Okay. So we're going to try to keep the live streams to a reasonable length of time. We're going to try to keep the subject matter focused to the reason that we're all here. And pretty much, I appreciate the banter back and forth and all the unrelated comments and subject matter and talking about this and Rick talking about his cars and all that. And I love all you guys, but that just all takes up time, especially my time, if I'm trying to get through it. So, whereas YouTube says the more chatting, the better for you, I don't agree with that. Maybe it is. Maybe it'll get more views on my video, the more user interaction I get. I don't care. I don't care about likes. I don't care about how many people subscribe. I don't care about how many entries are in the chat, how many people ring the bell. I don't care. I just do what I do. Yes, I need to make some money at it. I spend a lot of money on this stuff just to try to be professional. I don't want people to think if I buy a mixer or a new cell phone or a new computer or anything, or a new camera especially, because that's the lifeblood of a YouTube channel, is this equipment, or a wireless microphone, or any of that stuff. It costs a ton of money. And last year when I did my taxes, and I got done with all my deductions for all the stuff that I bought, I had just about nothing left from this endeavor. Fortunately, I was able to make money working for my daughter, doing computer work, website work, graphics work, and many other things that I'm quite good at, and got paid accordingly. This is a labor of love, but why would you waste 60 to 80 hours a week of your time to make a few $100? That's a hobby. This is not my hobby. I have many hobbies, but YouTube is not one of them. So I have to, this is a thing I need to do. And we talked about it in the past. I need to stop feeling guilty about asking you people to help support the channel. You don't need to support me. I support myself. I'm not destitute. I have plenty of food, a nice place to live. Maybe not the most elaborate, but a nice place to live, a nice car to drive, a little money in the bank. I am not begging for donations. Poor me. I do not put myself out there as somebody who is in terrible straits and needs your help. I don't want anybody's help, my friends. I want your appreciation if I'm helping in some way, if I'm helping you. You do tip the guy that brings you your car. You tip the waiter that brings you your food. You tip the Sam's driver that brings you your stuff. I know I do. Well, that's what this Buy Me a Coffee thing or the Super Chat thing is all about. Don't expect everybody to do it every day or every week. But once in a while, if a few people did it, and I have 45,000 subscribers now, if once in a while, every few people did it, 3 or 4 a day, that'd be great. That'd be great, but that doesn't happen. My Amazon links are there. Anybody can use those. Go in and buy all kinds of stuff on Amazon. You know what my Amazon earnings were? I get a report. I get a thing every day from Amazon. It tells me how much money in commissions I've earned from them today. My commissions for yesterday were about $3.50. $3.50. For all that crap I go through talking about Amazon and posting the links and keeping them current and doing all this other stuff. It's absurd. Anyway, it's not that I need the money that bad. I'm a proud man, and I'm proud of myself and what I've accomplished in this life, and the amazing amount of shit that I know that I could monetize. Maybe I could be sitting in that big house on the Intercoastal with the yacht out back. But at my age, I don't want to try to achieve that anymore. I'm very happy like this, and we'll do it. And I'm tired of giving the same speech, so I won't, because people don't want to hear it. And I don't blame them. I don't want to hear it either. All right. I've spent enough time talking about me and how I feel. Let's see how you guys feel this morning. Main Runner. Oh, let me get rid of that stupid banner. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. Main Runner was here, the first one last night. Stephanie Boyd chimed in. Mike Sealy chimed in. Rick chimed in. And now 7:54 a.m. Thomas is here. How you doing, Thomas? Brian Dish and Michael Pregler is here. I'm not going to read these things. Jeff Johnson, the name you know. Good morning, Jeff. Lori Weitzel, Me Cool Cat's here. Tina, good morning, Tina. How are you? Loretta Nadal Smoothie, 420. That's John. Josephine C. Good morning to you. And Kathy's here, Florida. Claudia Burkick joined us, 826. And Tuka's here. Hi, Tuka. How you doing? And Captain America, Steve Rogers. Hi, Steve. Sandy Blythe, good morning to you, Sandy. And Jem, good morning, Jem. How are you? Good to see you this morning. Larry Ryan is here. Aaron, Movie Goats, going shopping. I'll bet you are, sweetie. I'll bet you are. Can you imagine what it's like to look after her family and feed them and clothe them? Oh, my God. I guess she has a YouTube channel. I'm sure you know all about her. All right, we're sneaking up on 8:30, 8:29. Anybody new? Retired Rick's here. Hi, Rick. How you doing? Good morning, he says. Don Schonger. No, the winner this morning is Rick. Good morning, Rick. How you doing, buddy? All right, one more time, and then we're going to stop with the silliness. All right. All that stuff's getting a lot of hand. That quack stuff was funny the first time. It was funny for a little while after. That's not my thing. That's Rick's thing. And you get all the quacking you can watching Rick on Saturday. So I have to cut back on some of the quacking and the silliness here and try to get a little more serious. And maybe we'll help more people, because that's really the mission. That's not really the mission. I enjoy getting together with you guys, but there is a purpose for these get-togethers. Don Schonger, Marla Kelly chimed in, and Lizzie's here. Hi, Lizzie. Claudia Burkick is here. Good to see you. And Peter joined us. Hi, Peter. How are you? And Larry Ryan says, I have it. I'm drinking it with you. And Peter says, so glad to see you back after your day off. Welcome back. Yeah. You know what I did all day yesterday, don't you? I edited a video. It's coming out today. It was probably more editing and more work than I've done on a video in a long, long time, but I had the time. And what this video is, it'll be out this afternoon. And it's so much and so long, I had to cut it into 2 parts. And I'll have part 1 today. And if I get it done, because, God, this is editing intensive, I'll have part 2 tomorrow. What it is the story from the beginning, because I shot a ton of footage for all those videos I released the last 4 months, 4.5 months, that I edited together a chronicle, a timeline of me recovering from this stroke. And it will end with the state that I'm in now, and I'm still going. But I think anybody that has been following this and is curious to compare and see the difference, because I didn't realize it, to tell you the truth, until I watched these old videos, how far I had come, because it happens in tiny little increments. And I'm so fascinated to see this. Got video from me in rehab back in the hospital. My daughter shot on her iPhone when she was there with me during the first few days of my therapy. The only thing I don't have pictures of is my 5-day hospital stay, but there was nothing to see other than a lump laying in bed, feeling sorry for himself and arguing with the doctors. So that video, I hope I managed to condense it down to about 17, 18 minutes for part one. I hope that video gets some recognition. It's all up to YouTube. Depends on how they push it to people who haven't seen this before. Because if it's only my viewers that get to see it, I can count on a video getting 1,000 or 2,000 views tops, making me about $8 or $10, and dying a death after that, never to be seen again after all that work. So the way you make a video go viral is you all jump on it when it first comes out, and YouTube goes, well, what's that? There must be something in that video that people are finding fascinating. And you need to have a tremendous, even though everybody thinks it doesn't matter, it does matter. The timing of when it's released, day of the week, when it's, all that stuff really matters. So that's coming today. Assuming I get it done, I have to finish it after this live stream, so I can't stay around here all day. But I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of myself, and I know from the comments that you guys are incredibly proud of me, and I keep attributing, and this is the most important point, the carnivore lifestyle, not poisoning ourselves, as giving us the best chance and the quickest recovery from anything that we might get that's new, and certainly to fix so much of what's wrong with us that we've had in the past. And I'm so tired of the propaganda, and I'm so tired of hearing people, including doctors and nutritionists, look at us like we're idiots when they go on and give deadly advice and get paid for it. It's very, very maddening. Okay, so I said hi to a bunch of people. Everybody else that I didn't say hi to, how are you? How are you doing? Very good. It's 9 o'clock. I'm gonna do a little panel this morning, but I want to kind of keep it on topic and not get too silly. And I'm going to have to cut it around 9:30, maybe 5 or 10 minutes over. So don't be insulted when I tell you, okay, guys, show's over. You go home now, you know. But let me put the link up in the chat. There it is, and I'll pin it at the top. And you guys come piling in. I expect Tuka's face to be on there any second now, and we'll say hello. We'll talk a little bit, and I'll stop ranting. I don't know if I had anything else in my show notes. There's Tuka. Yes, sir. I knew it would happen. Get to you in a minute, Tuka. I don't see your face yet. Thank you, Marla. Marla Kelly bought me a coffee. Said, love you, Mitch. Thank you so much, sweetie. Back at you. Back at you. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody on the coffee stuff. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Maritza, MM, bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. Jerry Voitush bought me one earlier. And Marla Kelly said, love you, Mitch. Maritza says, I learn something new from you every time I watch you. Thank you, Mitch. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Extremely welcome. And I went to the phone, not to look for the coffees, but to see if what I had in show notes here. No, that's enough. There's a topic I put down on my show notes that I want to talk to, because there's something I guess struggling a little bit with and doing some deep dives myself into. And I'll give you the topic, and then I got Peter in the chat. in the waiting room, in the green room. We'll get to these guys in a second, but I want you to mull this over because it's going to be, I want it to be a conversation for us because we hear just loads these days about you got to eat it raw, you got to eat it raw, you got to eat it raw, you got to eat it raw. And we're hearing it from every angle. You know, if you're not eating it raw, you may as well not be doing it. You know, you just chew the fat, and I'm sure there's something to that, but I can't get it out of my head that we have been cooking food for 1,000,000 years. There's got to be some reason for that, or else we'd all be wandering out there in the fields, attacking cows and eating them. There's got to be debate. Most of us, including me, I'm sorry, I tried it. There is no friggin' way you're going to get me to sit around all day eating raw meat and fat. I can't do it. I don't even want to do it. So we need to talk more about that and talk about the nuances of that. There is no right or wrong answer. Certainly. No right or wrong answer. So with that said, let's get going here because time is a wasting. Let me get back to this picture here. All me. And let's do this. And first in, Tuka. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Hello, boss. And
hello there, sir. How you doing? You're looking very athletic this morning. Well, afternoon for you.
I promised to show Sandy my guns, so wait a minute. Here we go. Here are my guns for Sandy.
God, Tuka, let me tell you, I keep quoting that line from the movie Jack Nicholson, and as good as it gets, he says, if only that did it for me, Tuka. But it doesn't. Sorry. And here's Peter. Good morning, Peter. Peter's up and walking.
Hey, Peter.
How are you?
Peter.
I don't eat raw meat. Okay. I mean, I eat sushi, you know, if you call that raw, whatever meat, but that's it.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's got to be something to it because we're all getting healthy. We're all curing our problems. We're all losing weight.
I mean, I will tell you, I've started to cook my meat more, you know, seared on each side in my cast iron or in a whatever air fryer. But it's, you know, like you're doing, Mitch, you know, less cooked in the center, you know, more, you know, less and less.
Yeah, well, that is something that you can get to enjoy. And I found that it's juicier, it's easier to chew. You know, it's just, I like it better if it's a good cut of meat. But yeah, if it's stew meat or it's a chuck, you got to cook the hell out of it or you can't eat it. You know, yeah. So yeah, we can't all buy 3-inch thick, like Ken Berry says, panda massaged cows at $100 a pound. We can't afford that. Nobody's going to be out there eating raw chuck steak. So it's got to be a compromise. And I
think like you said, it depends. If I'm doing a chuck steak, I'd throw it in my slow cooker.
Right, cook the hell out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tina, good morning. Let me bring everybody else in here and we'll get the discussion going. Whoa, I lost Tina. What happened to Tina? I lost Tina.
Saw our faces and got scared.
Whoa,
but I got Kurt here. Kurt's topless this morning. How you doing, Kurt?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, it's hot here. How's everybody doing? Good morning, Papa. Good morning, Tuka.
No, they don't want to say good morning to you. I will. Good morning to you, Kurt. How you doing? How you doing, my friend? What happened to Tina? I can't believe it, Tina. We lost Tina.
Kurt is the friendliest. Kurt is the friendliest and least abrasive guy on YouTube.
Hey, Peter. I can't do it on camera. I know it's not. I'm not.
Oh, what's all that noise? Is that you, Tuka?
Yeah, sorry, it's windy here. Hold on, I'm mute myself. Hold on.
Wow, much better. Thank you. Tina, don't go, sweetie. You're here.
Yes, good morning. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong button, and I'm not eating any raw meat. I'm not eating any rare meat. I used to eat my meat well done, like burnt. I have gone to medium well, and that's the best I can do.
Well, you know what? And you're still benefiting from carnivore.
Yes.
And that's my point is, I rail against the quest for perfection in anything. You cannot be perfect in an imperfect world, and God knows this world is definitely imperfect. So when it comes to this militant, strict Nazi carnivore, I that's nonsense. It's all, to me, the main thing, and I've said this before so many times, the main consideration about what you should eat and whether you should eat it is, number one, you got to keep your carbs low. And we all know the processed foods avoid at all costs. And we all know that sugars, but they used to call them added sugars, but we now know that all carbs are sugars and eventually become sugar. Pasta is sugar, bread is sugar, potatoes are sugar, it's all sugar. So that's been debunked, even though that the world still believes that.
Well, I have a confession to make.
Yes.
I was gifted a local watermelon. Hadn't had watermelon in a long time.
Yeah, that stuff's addictive too.
Up and cut it up, and I ate some of it. Now
Yeah.
I've got bowls of it in the refrigerator. I've asked the kids, not kids, they're 30s, please eat it. Don't
Yeah.
leave. But if it's still there in a day or two, I'm going to have to throw it away.
Well, better to throw it away than to eat it. But no, that's all right.
Good? Oh God, it was
All right,
good.
then just like in the confessional, say 3 Hail Marys and throw the watermelon away.
Well, you know what?
Because let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
Well,
See,
Tina,
there are some really redeeming concepts that come out of religion. There's no doubt about that. Oh, Peter, you got a cup of coffee on your head. Let me fix that. Hold
Peter,
on a
what were
second.
you saying, Peter? What were you saying, Peter?
I was just going to say, even Kelsey said once in a while he'll have a little this, little that, and you know what? I do too. I go over to my girlfriend's house, and if she has a little salad for me or a sweet potato, I eat it.
As long as it doesn't trigger your addiction,
Right.
send you on a binge.
Right.
So the main point, and I keep saying it over and over and over again until I'm blue in the face, but the problem is you have to on YouTube because every day got a different audience or new people, and they haven't heard it yet.
That little bit of watermelon, I wanted to eat the whole thing.
Of course, but if you didn't, then that's good because your addiction probably isn't as strong as mine because I cannot eat a little bit of anything. I can't eat one blueberry without and finishing 3 pounds of them. I can't. I'm weak. I know it. Just like an alcoholic is weak, just like a drug addict is weak. You ruin your whole life. Your addiction owns you, and more people are like that than ever. So to me, the only reason, well, there's a couple of good reasons to go Nazi carnivore, Michaela Peterson carnivore. You know what I mean? Strict lion, beef only, is that you are, number one, you are so allergic and sensitive to virtually everything, but the only way to not be in pain is to stick to those rules. And if you've been in pain all your life and gone through the misery that poor girl did, it's worth it. It's worth it because there's nothing that unpleasant about just eating beef. You could do it. I could do it. I could probably just eat frozen, cook up these frozen hamburger patties. There's not one for another thing. That your appetite gets satisfied. As long as your appetite's satisfied, you probably won't have cravings. Now, the second reason to do it is to avoid a lot of foods, but maybe not all carbs, is the sugar addiction. So that leaves out fruit because you'll binge on fruit. That leaves out high glycemic carbohydrates like bread and pasta. You never stop. You never get full. You get more hungry. You're compelled to eat it while you still can find it, or you might not find it tomorrow. That was the response to the day and time in our history when there were no 7-Elevens on every corner. There were a few bushes that produce berries seasonally. So those two reasons are really the only reason that anyone would have to say, okay, I just can't do that. I can't eat any carbohydrates because even broccoli wakes up my addiction. And unfortunately, abstinence is the only answer for that. And that's just the way it is. And I found that out after being 2.5 years without a blueberry, without a carb, other than the naturally occurring carbs in animal foods, like eggs and meat, a very small amount. I found out real easy that all I had to do was get a little taste, and my addiction reared its ugly head. Yes, Stuka, are you waving at me or raising your hand?
Yes, I was waving at you. Let me know if you can't hear me because there's a little bit of wind here. But I have two short stories to tell you if you're curious.
Okay,
I tried to change so that the wind doesn't hit so hard because it's a
yeah. I hear you fine. So. I hear you fine, Tuka. What did you, Kurt? You put your hand up.
Yeah, I did. So I had a.
Oh, well.
I had 2 tablespoons of ice cream yesterday, but my body's reaction was like, meh, I don't know what to do with this energy. And after I got some steak and sausages, my body was like, yay, this is the real stuff. So I think the body has adapted to the carnivore lifestyle.
Good.
Yeah, and the other story is that I don't know if you don't know what grok is, but grok is basically equivalent to ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So it's AI.
Elon Musk's AI.
Yeah. So I used the ChatGPT or grok to create me a grocery list for a week regarding carnivore diet, and also make me a 7-day meal plan to hit 800 calories a day with carnivore diet, and I told instructions to grok that what needs to be considered, like my hypothyroidism and so forth, so that it understands that what to do, and so that I would be able to achieve my goal in total body fat, which is around 8 to 10% body fat. So I thought that I would give it a try and buy the things I need to buy, and there is it's an interesting list of different kind of meats and stuff, and so we'll see. According to Brooke, I should be.
Let me give you my thoughts. Let me stop you there, Tuka, and give you my thoughts on artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence is like real intelligence. Okay? Artificial intelligence only knows and can only consider what it's been taught. What are we teaching in this world? When you go on Google and type, what is the healthiest diet? What does it say? Fruits, vegetables, and all this other. Now, half of what it knows, well, 90% of what any of these search engines or AI models or anything knows is propaganda, and you're going to hear the narrative. And anything that they produce and recommendations for your diet, you can take it, as far as I'm concerned, and throw it in the trash can. It's worth shit. It's worthless. And artificial intelligence doesn't know what we know. It's never been taught this stuff. Yes, maybe it has access to transcripts of carnivore videos, but also vegan videos. It has no idea, just like the medical community, what's healthy. Now, you can steer these things. And this is where people get a false sense of confidence in the results from AI and what makes them so dangerous. You can continue to steer them, just like debating with a human, and make a point, and then it considers that point. And pretty soon after enough steering it, maybe you will get it to be digging into a database of knowledge that comes from the current science in our community.
Yeah.
But that's highly, highly unlikely. So every time you Google something, you have to basically say, well, what does Google really know? And that's why you always get these bullshit answers. And first of all, 800 calories a day, you're killing yourself. You're going to trash your metabolism.
I even heard twice that, Tuka.
Yeah. I would not
Mhm.
recommend that to anybody. I don't recommend rapid weight loss to anybody. I don't recommend anything but just eating as much food as you can eat in a day. Eat the right food and let your body find its weight. Trying to get into and like bodybuilders do, trying to manipulate, to hack all of these so-called systems and all these biohacks that people do is the reason why guys like Hulk Hogan don't live past 71. Bodybuilders and football players die in their 60s. You're going to do more damage to yourself and your metabolism. This is my opinion. I'm not a doctor.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
opinion.
I know.
But
I
don't,
thought,
8% body fat is half what you need.
yeah,
Half.
I know.
You're going to hurt yourself. Why? So that the girls are attracted to you. That's what I did. That's what we all do. That's destructive. So that would be my advice. You, of course, will do what you want and believe what you want and follow what you want. But I would be very careful. And if I didn't love you so much, my friend, if I
know.
wasn't so concerned for you, I certainly would have said, "Hey, that's a great idea. Tuka. Let us know how it works out and be on to the next." I won't do that. I won't do that. I'm like a father.
I know.
Hey, Tuka,
I know, Mitch. Uh-huh.
Tuka, listen.
Uh-huh.
You think I got so handsome and sexy at 8% body fat? No, I'm like 20. I'm like 25% body fat. I'm 63, and guess what? I feel great. I mean, I'm at my lowest weight since high school. I mean, I got a girlfriend who loves me. I think. I don't know, but the bottom
She's in
line
it for the
is
money, Peter. She's in it for the money.
I got no money. She made a mistake. She made a very bad mistake.
Oh man.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to. I mean, 8%, even like less than 15 for a man is absurdly low.
Yeah, that's crazy. My body fat is 15%,
Yeah,
and I'm skinny,
Yeah.
and and I think I'm goddamn attractive between you and me. But that's just me, don't we all? Tata's smiling.
Mhm.
and women don't want a skeleton, and men don't want a skeleton. Believe
Not
me.
just a skeleton, but men want to be cut. They want to get cut. They want to get ripped. They want the six pack to show. They want their guns, their muscles to show. And the way to do that is to get down to a low body fat. It's been proven time and time and time again, Tuka, that is not healthy for you. That most of these bodybuilders, professional bodybuilders, that's where this sugar diet thing came from, which is really a low protein diet. It doesn't matter how you do it. You could do an all fat diet. As long as you don't eat protein, you get the same results. They get down to 3-4% body fat just for a competition. They start doing it weeks before. They shred their body. God knows what harm they do to their metabolism. But the minute that competition is over, the hell with that diet. That diet will kill you. And they put the fat back on until the next competition, and every time they do that, I believe they cut a year or two off their life. And the evidence of that is that these humongous bodybuilders, when you look at them when they get older, they all invariably just go to shit and they die young.
In fact, I just saw there was a couple of bodybuilders. Some were women actually. They're dying in their 30s and 40s, Tuka, because they're really they're just killing their bodies and stuff, and it wrecks them. And a lot of them are dying in their 30s and 40s. I'm not even joking. I've seen it so many.
I know.
Yeah, so be careful. Be careful.
Yeah,
be careful, my friend. I believe me, nobody more than I, who have been heavy all my life and always self-conscious about it, was more motivated to get so-called ripped and buff, even at my age of 76 at the time. And I got to a point where I wasn't ashamed. I could actually put a picture of myself up on my website with my shirt off. I was still at like 17-18% body fat there. I'm about 15% now. BMI of about 19, which is really, really low.
Wow.
And now I'm trying to work to put some muscle back on, because I did lose some muscle over the past 5 months. Certainly, my muscles have been getting a workout. My brain couldn't even talk to them in a lot of cases. But that's coming along. That's coming along. So what are you up to, Tina?
I was going to ask Tuka. Tuka, how long have you been on Carnivore?
About 18 months.
18
so.
months. Well,
Yeah.
I wish you the best, but honey, you're not in a race. There's no race.
I know.
You've got forever. And I mean, it took me, well, I was ketovore, whatever, and then finally went to, but it took me 4 years to get 60 pounds off. 4 years. Now, Carnivore did speed it up and did amazing things as far as my health goes that the keto was not doing. And I certainly don't want to go back to keto. I may do a few days of ketovore because I like pickles and, just different
That
things.
won't hurt. That won't hurt you.
But I don't want to ever go back to the low carb or, the standard diet because the difference in my life is amazing. The energy, how I feel, being off 4 prescription medicine. I've only taken Tylenol one time in a year and 5 months.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
I mean, I used to have a trip to the hospital for all kinds of things. Well, every other month, either my blood pressure would shoot real high, or I had a kidney stone, or I had a urinary tract infection. I mean, it was like one thing after another. I haven't been to the hospital in a year and 5 months.
That's a good comment. DS111 says, when I look at guys that work out, I think that they are thinking, look at me. And that was one of the main reasons I quit going to the gym and just tried to do it at home. I couldn't stand those people. I never met a bunch of flaming narcissists like that in my life. They never met a mirror that they couldn't stop and introduce themselves to,
Yeah. It's funny, Mitch. That's why I stopped with the gym. These guys, they'd be like just preening in the mirror after each set that they do of weights. That it's like they're back to the mirror, like, okay, how did that do? That set, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And they're looking around. Okay, what girls are looking at me? Who's looking at me?
Well, that's what it is. That's what it's for. That's why people join. That's the prime human drive is the opposite sex. I mean, none of us is without that. And we're all guilty of that in some respects. It's the whole reason why we're so concerned about our weight and our appearance. You think that people who are just loving all this fattening, unhealthy stuff are thinking about their health when they think about going on a diet? No, they look at themselves in the mirror and say, okay, I wish I could keep doing this, but nobody's going to love me, so I better. And they go on these stupid diets. And of course, they're all in a hurry. They want to shed the weight fast, and that's not healthy at all. So we don't always do the right thing because we are cavemen living in a world that we're not supposed to be in. I mean, you think about it. We are cavemen. We're programmed by the same genetics, the same biology, physiology as the cavemen had, and even back before the cavemen, because that was only 30, 40, 50,000 years ago. A million years ago, we had the same physiology. We're not supposed to be here, and it screws up our minds. It just we imagine just imagine what would happen if you could. And they made movies like this. Bring a caveman with a time machine to today, plunk his ass down in the middle of Manhattan, give him a fistful of money. It would be wild. It would be wild, and track what he did, because that's basically that's how we're living now. We're not supposed to have a food supply like we have. We're not supposed to have Sam's Clubs with pallets full of poison that tempt us.
I wish I had a Sam's Club close to me, but our closest one is in the next city over.
Yeah, it's nice. But Walmart is pretty close. It's the same company, and they have a lot of the same stuff. Yeah.
And
They have
I'm
the
going to
same
go
stuff.
there today and look for frozen Angus burgers.
Yeah, they
That's
have
my
them.
goal
They
today.
They
have
have
them.
them. Yeah, and
Good.
I've been eating a lot of them, and I really like it, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great.
How
Well,
many of
guys,
those do you eat at one meal, Mitch?
I eat 3 a
Oh,
pound. They're a third of a pound
oh
each,
my.
and I'll
Wow.
eat 3. Well, I have to eat about 2 pounds of food a day,
Yeah.
so I do.
I'm
I have
thinking
to.
I'll
I
only
mean,
eat
otherwise I'll
one.
waste away to nothing.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'll only eat one, maybe with a slice of hard cheese on it, maybe. But
They're high in calories. I mean, they're 400 and some calories a patty because beef is high in calories.
yeah.
You know, beef's like almost 100 calories an ounce. You talk about a energy rich and nutritious food. You can't beat it. But
Yeah.
people would rather have 500 calories of candy and cookies and things like that than eat a beef patty.
I watched that sugar movie.
They're
That
great.
was quite something, wasn't it?
It was that was a
It
big
was
time movie. That
it was
wasn't a
very well put together. And did you hear I had to rewind it a couple times because one of the doctors said with the cholesterol, and this was a 10-year-old movie, right? Or 11-year-old
yeah,
or what
10
it
years
was.
old, yeah.
That doctor, and I had to rewind it because I thought I heard him right. He said, your triglycerides are important, but don't worry about the LDL. This
Oh
was
yeah,
10 years
we've
ago.
known I've known that for 20 years myself. I've delved into the science of this 20 years ago.
And with my LDL being 400, I mean, it did scare the hell out of me. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but
have
it shouldn't. It shouldn't because if you could, you think, oh, it's going to clog my arteries, right?
Mhm.
If you could see, if we had microscopes and actually you could see these particles, the size of them,
Mhm.
the lipoproteins go from the small dense LDL, then they go to LDL, then IDL, then VLDL, very low density proteins, then chylomicrons. Okay? And all this stuff's got to fit through your arteries. Now, an LDL, think about this, an LDL particle, think of your artery as a sewer pipe, 3 feet in diameter. Okay, that's your artery. An LDL particle would be the size, not quite as small as a grain of sand, but somewhere in that. Okay, so how hard is it going to be to get a grain of sand through your artery, through a sewer pipe? Not bad. Then you get that. Then you get to VLDL, which is where they calculate the triglyceride. Peter left us. Is where they calculate the triglycerides. Okay. They calculate. That's not. I want this one. They calculate triglycerides because they can't actually measure the triglycerides in your blood. So what they do is they measure how much VLDL. Now, VLDL lipoprotein is one that the liver makes and stuffs full of all kinds of stuff, triglycerides, cholesterol, fat-soluble vitamins, and then sends it out. Once all the triglycerides are delivered to the cells, then that vehicle shrinks and it becomes an LDL. The liver doesn't make LDLs. It makes one kind of lipoprotein, fills it up full of cargo, and as it delivers that cargo and shrinks, we give it a different name.
Is it a different blood test for the VLDL?
No, it's the same thing. They take all that stuff, spin it in a centrifuge, and the heaviest stuff goes the furthest, and the lightest stuff stays. And then there's other tests that'll even break it down even more. They're called NMR, nuclear magnetic resonance, that separate your LDL into many categories, and that way you can tell whether it's dense and damaged or light and fluffy and all these different things a year. But the one thing they never talk about is how big they are really, and they don't clog up. What kills your arteries is when they get so small and so damaged that they can actually go through the artery walls and burrow underneath, and that's where the heart disease comes from. It doesn't stick to your wall. That's why they call it light and fluffy. Okay, so now
we've got talk about LDL ratio to triglycerides. Am I saying that right? Because my triglycerides in December were 118, but the doctor
That's good.
wasn't
Yeah,
worried about
it's HD. Well, he wasn't worried about it, but he didn't understand what it really meant. That's the problem. Your HDL to triglycerides ratio is supposedly the most important, and
Oh, HDL.
HDL, yeah, LDL has nothing to do with it. LDL is important. You must have LDL because it's what's carrying around cholesterol to repair things and so much of the fat soluble vitamins. After it offloads the triglycerides that you need for energy. Okay, now the triglycerides will come from sugar. The liver will convert sugar to triglycerides, and the purpose of those is to store away. This is also interrelated and so complicated, and they got it so the average medical professional has no friggin' idea. The point I was trying to make to you, and we're running out of time here, but I wanted to give you a little visualization. So you got a sewer pipe 3 feet wide. Okay, you got an LDL particle is this big. Okay, it started out as a VLDL particle. Imagine a VLD particle is a golf ball. Okay, then it goes up to a what's called a chylomicron, and this is a lipoprotein that comes from the gut and takes fat directly out of the food. It doesn't go anywhere else, and takes it to the takes it to become used. A chylomicron might be like a basketball. Okay, the basketballs don't clog your arteries. The golf balls don't clog your arteries. The little 1/8-inch LDLs are considered big and fluffy, and they're not going to clog your arteries. The ones that damage your arteries are the ones that have been glycated and oxidized. The ability to be recognized by the liver as a lipoprotein, they're so damaged that the liver says, we don't want you, and puts them back in the blood. They accumulate in the blood. They become smaller and smaller, and they then become small enough to permeate the inner walls of the artery and get nestled underneath, where they cause tremendous inflation. And then along comes the immune system to try to heal the inflation and uses cholesterol. And this is the first time the cholesterol is even in the picture. After the damage is done, it's the fireman analogy. And what we're saying with the fireman analogy is, well, every time there's a fire, there's firemen, so obviously the firemen are setting the fires. That's what, no, the fire was there first. The firemen came to fix it. Well, the immune system uses cholesterol to repair things, and that repair is like spackling and puttying it up, and you do that constantly every day of your life because you're always eating crap and always inflamed. Yeah, you get plaque buildup in the arteries, but it isn't stuff going through the arteries that's sticking to the walls. That's not how it happens. So even if you're LDL, if you're not inflamed, so maybe one of the most important blood tests you can get is an HS-CRP. CRP is C-reactive protein. HS means high sensitivity, and that is a measure of systemic inflation. Because if you don't have a high level of systemic inflation, none of this other stuff's going to happen. Because the immune system has no reason to send cholesterol to patch up what is a healthy artery wall. That's the basic. I mean, try to explain it in layman's terms. That's the basics of it. So inflation is the one thing you need to be worried about. And if somebody tells anybody, well, you've got a high LDL, the first thing that you need to do is say, well, that I need to have an HSCRP and find out whether that high level of LDL can really hurt me or not, and cause plaque or not. But that's why you hear so much talk about non-inflammatory foods. That's the key to it. Sugar's inflammatory. Seed oils are oxidizers of the highest order, and they're inflammatory as hell. Red meat is completely and totally not inflammatory. So I think that's important. And I think people need to be told some of this stuff in less scientific terms from people that understand it, that maybe aren't scientists, but like me, like me.
Well, I appreciate it, Mitch.
My LDL was 450 last year. Oh, that's cute. Look at that. I love it. I love it. Wait, hold it up, hold it up, hold it up, hold it up.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. Oh, man.
Ooh,
That is so cute. Well, even the backside is cute. That's great. That's great.
Hey, Mitch, let me
Yes.
clarify. Let me clarify that my intention is not to be a bodybuilder. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just my intention is just to get the belly fat and stuff rid of. I need to get rid of, and so I need a functional body. So I gave a set of rules to AI what to follow with the grocery list, and there is practically not a single carb or vegetable on the list. And I
Well,
was
that's
thinking
good.
that yeah. So I was thinking that I will send you later an email to you what's on the list, and you can check it out how it looks like to you,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
just whenever you have time, like during next week, I'm
Yeah,
not
sure.
in a
Like I
hurry.
have
So
time. Yeah. In fact,
yeah. So feel free to give a comment or
Okay.
something like that. So it includes stuff like liver, salmon, ribeye steak,
Well,
ground
good. So,
beef,
so
eggs,
it,
and
it
stuff.
has a little carnivore info. But listen, too, guys, I'd love to sit here all morning and chat about this with you, but I got to go. I got to get to work. I got to finish editing my video because I want to get it out today.
I knew we were going to get a talk going about this.
Okay.
That's why I
I
brought it
will
up.
see you the next time. Thanks. Have a nice, enjoy the
All
sunshine,
right.
my friend.
See you on Thursday,
See you later.
Mitch.
Okay.
And
Bye-bye.
see you, chat. Bye.
Yeah, and goodbye to Tina. Tina's waved and checked out, and that leaves just me and gonna play some happy music. You people can say goodbye to each other in the chat. I'm gonna try to keep these things. We're already 10 minutes over, but I'm gonna try to keep these things. There's always tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow. I want to say hi to everybody that was here today. If I didn't acknowledge you, I will watch the replay of this, and I'll see most of the chat. So I'll know. Thanks for being here. Thanks for putting up with me. I'm trying to make this work. I'm trying to figure out how. But I'm not going anywhere. And I know I do feel a little love. Believe me, I feel a little love. And I hope you feel it back. So have a great day, everybody. Have a great day, my friends. And as usual, you know what the rules are. You have to take the rest of the day off. And especially eat meat.